Now, before I bring in Warren Mundine to help fact-check the good senator there, let's ponder for a moment just how badly Labor, both at federal and territory level, how badly they've mismanaged Indigenous issues. The mayhem we are seeing in the NT right now was entirely predictable. And in the end, Anthony Albanese had to be shamed into visiting Alice Springs after initially ignoring calls to visit the mayhem that Labor policies helped create. The PM spent a few hours there this week in the NT. That's a good thing, but rest assured, if the violence and chaos occurring in the Northern Territory was happening in Sydney or Melbourne, it would dominate media coverage and be top of mind for politicians. If the horrendous rates of abuse and neglect that we see across the Northern Territory were occurring to mainly white victims, the coverage would reach saturation level. Now that's real racism, the bigotry of low expectations. For months, we have seen shocking footage of drunken violence, looting and street fights, but the bulk of the media and political class has turned a blind eye. What is happening in Alice Springs and elsewhere in the NT is in part due to boneheaded politicians who allowed their ideology to trump logic and experience. The booze bans and cashless debit cards are necessary to save lives, to ensure children are fed and women are not bashed. These decisions to end these programs were made despite the strong objections of informed Indigenous voices, from Senator Jacinta Price to the Central Australian Aboriginal Congress. It was back in June 5 last year, where Senator Price wrote, "Mark my words, with federal Labor abolishing the cashless debit card and NT Labor opening the floodgates to alcohol in vulnerable remote communities, rates of domestic violence and sexual abuse of children are about to skyrocket." Well, last year in Alice Springs, domestic violence assault was up 53%. Alcohol-related assault was up 55%, and property damage was up 60%. That's according to the Northern Territory Police's crime statistics. Senator Price isn't Nostradamus here. She just knows that terrible policies have terrible consequences.